guys, welcome back to my channel, Andre here of Xenomorph.com. Thanks for tuning in again. So today we have the Hot Toys Doctor Strange Infinity War version. Much looked forward figure, especially there was some discussion about the head sculpt. So let's see how this turns out in this video review. But before we go into that, thank you very much to my subscriber base, to all the new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining. The last video review on the Wolf Predator was quite nice, really. There was some cool interaction with you all guys in the comments, and I think you all appreciated the new video structure, so that's really keeping me motivated for creating all those scenes for the future reviews. It will take some more time, but I think it's worth the additional effort. So I just applied it now for the Doctor Strange video. First we started with a cinematic opening with some nice close-up scenes and pans over the figure. Then we go into a quick welcome message, which is this part, which then goes on into the art box section. Then we have a quick overview on the figure, all the accessories, then movie authenticity, where I tried to get in some movie footage to actually compare the likeness of this actual head sculpt. Then of course the comparison with the earlier release Doctor Strange figure by Hot Toys from, I think it was last year. And then in the end a quick conclusion. Alright, let's get this rolling. I start with the art box first. Alright, so this is the MMS484 Doctor Strange from Avengers Infinity War. It fits perfectly into the line of the other Avengers Infinity War boxes. Nice colors applied. Really good high quality print footage here of Benedict Cumberbatch. But then again, yeah, also quite a basic packaging. But I think it's a bit wider or deeper than other packages because there's quite some content in it. Alright, let's get going. So here we go, Hot Toys Doctor Strange Infinity War version out of the box, and look at this magnificent head sculpt. It's superb work again by Hot Toys. It's a more sincere look, a bit more serious, more seniority in it. All in all, pretty cool. Let's go first for the accessories. I have to do this in 2 takes. First, of course, when we pan down, the eye of Agamotto. You also got that one on the first version of Doctor Strange, and well, it's basically one of the essential parts of him. Alright, let's pan down the first round of accessories because there's quite a bunch of stuff that I need to present. This, I think, is the magical effect that he used in the initial scene. You will see this in the movie footage afterwards. It's basically when he supports Iron Man. Then we have these magical mandala discs that we already had on the first figure. Then a magical blade. This is amazing, really cool. This is some kind of eye shape on there. Also a new item. Then another new item is this square shaped shield or something. Then another disc, and this is something from a spell. It's called the Bands of Sitarak, and I think Sitarak is a demon. That's at least what I found out about Google, and he somehow got all these powers during or after the fight with Dormammu, the big end boss, basically, in the origin movie. Then some more mandalas and the green ones that he used for the meditation scene. I think one set of these was also included in the first figure. And then of course a closed version of the Eye of Agamotto. Some sling rings, tiny pieces. Then next we have the backdrop. So the backdrop is quite a nice inclusion. There was already one on the first Doctor Strange figure, if I remember correctly, but this one is quite tall and it doesn't fit into a detail, and I don't like the print quality on this latest backdrop. It's somehow, I've got a feeling they cheaped out a bit on the print quality, but overall it's quite a sturdy piece, and if you fold it like that you will have enough space to put it into a detail. But yeah, to have the full effect, I think you have to really open it and put it like this. There's no real mechanism that puts all the different parts together. You just place the figure in between. So here just a quick look how it can look with the figure in front of the backdrop, but as soon as you put some light on it, you will see that there's some reflection on the actual backdrop in the background. But yeah, So next up, or the last part in terms of accessories, is you get a flying stand with the nice Infinity War base, and then a galore of different hand sculpts, and they are magnificently sculpted and yeah, well, painted. Well, there's not much paint on it, but what is painted is okay and fine. So you see basically the skulls from the car crash. They also had that on the first Doctor Strange figure, and you got lots of hands, so there are so many special items, and I think also dig these more meditation-like spell effect hands. They're pretty cool to recreate some nice poses for Doctor Strange. Alright, let's continue with movie authenticity. Get the elephant in the room, the likeness of Benedict Cumberbatch on this latest head sculpt. So there are two topics I want to cover. First, the actual likeness to the actor, and second, how he actually looked in the movie, because this is another discussion for itself. Alright, I will throw in some Benedict Cumberbatch pictures probably here on the left side somewhere that you can check for yourself if the head sculpt, and especially how the sculpted eye section and the nose area is really fitting the actual actor portrait. So I will put in some actor photos, but also some photos as him as Doctor Strange. Then I would say we dim down the lights a bit, that you can see more of the shadowing on the face sculpt, because I think this way the highlights are much better. You see all this crazy wrinkling going on here on the forehead. It has this sincere, serious look, and this Doctor Strange is definitely more mature. I mean, especially after the huge battle with Dormammu at the end of the first movie, he gone through a lot of battles there, and he's definitely more advanced now. And I think the new look, also with the gray stripes, this is perfectly recreated. Alright, I would say it's really a good head sculpt. It might have a bit of an Asian kind of look going in terms of the eyes, how they're sculpted. It's just minor nitpicks really. The overall quality is crazy good, especially look at how they recreated the hairs. Wow, it's mind-blowing actually. And I'm curious to see how you will judge after comparison with the first Doctor Strange. Alright, second debate is about the hairstyle. The hairstyle might be nice, it looks serious, tense, and perfectly styled in the end. But it was max in one or two scenes in Infinity War. I will roll some footage here on the upper left corner that you can compare. I think I only found one major scene where it was really obvious. All the other scenes, Benedict had this hair curl going on the forehead that we actually got with the first figure. So that got me a bit of thinking what has happened here during the creational process at Hot Toys. And then I found out that in Thor Ragnarok, in the beginning scene where Thor and Loki were surprised by Doctor Strange and invited to his home, he basically rocked exactly this style of hair almost during all the scenes. So I think Hot Toys wanted to deliver us maybe a special version of Doctor Strange, especially made for the Thor Ragnarok movie, but during production process they changed their mind. Infinity War was just around the corner and they changed the production to Infinity War line. That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, even on the package, on the art box, on the front cover, it has this hair curl going on, so no idea what's happening. And then of course it's totally clean head sculpt. There are no battle scratches or marks or blood splatters or anything on the head sculpt, even though during the movie he most of the time had something on his face. So that was probably a creational decision. I'm totally fine with that. Alright, curious to see how it compares with the first Doctor Strange head sculpt later on, but I'm totally fine with the new head sculpt. It's really a refreshing take on Doctor Strange. Alright, let's compare one of the spell he casts. So that what he actually does on the backdrop, you can easily recreate, so the hands are exactly posed like that. It's a perfect recreation. And the spell is called, I had to Google that, the Images of Icon. That's where he basically duplicates himself. It's a short but amazing, well shot scene, so have a look. And I think this is totally worth to have it displayed. It's definitely cool look. Unfortunately, it does not fit into the details. Next up we have these power rings from the beginning battle scene in the movie. If you compare it to the actual movie scene, this looks pretty nice, and it's a nice way to recreate the battle together, of course, with the upcoming Iron Man figure by Hot Toys. And here's basically how you pull this off. So first there's an inner smaller ring. When we zoom there a bit, you see that you put directly in front of the hand, and then you just apply these larger construction onto the little fingers. There's some small notches there, so straightforward, and I definitely dig the effect here. Alright, then we have the magic blade spell. He basically pulls that out from nowhere, that blade. If somebody knows how the spell or the blade is called, please let me know in the comment section. You see it's amazingly sculpted, high quality gloss and plastic, and especially crafted hand for that. So this is recreating the final smash towards Thanos, but unfortunately he gets stopped by him, and the pose is easily achievable. There's a bit of blockage in the shoulder area, but I think it will be more than enough to deliver a cool action pose together with Thanos when he hopefully will arrive soon. Then let's go for the Crimson Bands of Kitterak. What a name. First a close-up. So look at the craft quality there on all the markings. It's a hard plastic piece with some gloss on it, and it basically works that you pull off the hand, put that on, and push the hand sculpt on it again. So in terms of the action feature, quite a nice accessory. It's pulled off really good, so you can have some cool action poses. But interesting, the wrapped around part is more on Thanos' hands than on Doctor Strange hands, because he basically throws the bands at Thanos' hands, it wraps around Thanos' hands, and then he pulls it towards him. So it's actually sculpted the wrong way. But yeah, let's see. I really doubt that these bands here will fit the massive hands of Thanos, but let's see how this turns out when we have Thanos in hand. Alright, one of the most iconic poses of Doctor Strange was when he meditated in a levitation state to check the future scenarios. As you can see, he's cross-legged. You have the green Mandela effects, recreating this green aura basically. You have the eye of Agamotto opened, and you even can drape the cape behind the stand like this, so that it looks like it's flowing into the wind. So pretty cool that you can pull this off. Of course he has the eyes open, but yeah, that's a minor thing. Let's close movie authenticity with the last topic. I have no clue where he uses this square-like spell or effect. If anybody knows, please comment down below. It might have been in one of the prior movies. Alright, action features and articulation. Not much to say about further action features. Almost showed you everything in the last sections. So first about articulation, again they had a real letdown on the legs or knee joints. They're totally loose. I tried to demonstrate this to you. So I just give it a bit of a push and the knee joint just goes back. I even had an issue where Strange just was falling into the background area to the white surface wall there, and he basically scratched his back head. And luckily there was not much happening, but that was a terrible situation. So definitely use a stand, better use the dynamic stand that they gave you with this set, because there you have the clamp to go around his waist. So that's a bit of an unfortunate topic here on this figure. Note on the cape. So the cape is attached with 3 magnets, one here on both chest muscles, and then basically here on the back side there's a circle magnet in there, and you just push it basically over the shoulder. Here on his left shoulder it has this shoulder pad, which is quite nice fit, and then you push this down here. It has to go quite far down that it holds in place. Sometimes if you don't get it directly it won't snap, and that's a bit happening too often on my figure at least. And then about the color, if you can see it here a bit more in detail, the color details are amazing. I think they're better than on the first release. Let's see after the next section. And right out of the box it looks like this, but you can actually pull the whole color down a bit more, and there's no metal wiring going on. It's just because I think of the thick stitching here, so that's definitely a possible way to give a bit more variation. Other than that, the cape itself has no wiring, so here is a bit of a thicker material, but I think there's no wiring in it. Not here, not here from what I can feel, and also not here on the bottom side. But man, look at this amazing material. It's really super nice. Alright, next section, the comparison with the first. Okay, comparison time. On the left, the first Doctor Strange figure, on the right, the new one from Infinity War. Let's have a look. So first impression, I really dig the latest head sculpt. It's a hard decision which one is really likable or more likable for me. I prefer both hairstyles, but I definitely like the serious look with the gray hairs on the sides. They're definitely more pronounced and better painted than on the first version. So it's a hard call. I will throw in some pictures of both Benedict Cumberbatches as Doctor Strange so you can compare for yourself, and I will dim down the lights a bit so you can see what happens. Really a hard decision, guys. I think it's a matter of taste in the end. Which head sculpt do you prefer, which hairstyle also. I totally see this is more Caucasian looking, where the new Doctor Strange has some kind of an Asian DNA in there. Hard to describe in words what is really the difference. But overall both are premium head sculpts and you can't go wrong with either of them. Up, let's compare the capes. So the color is really different. Here you have a metal wire going on somehow, but on the back side you don't see the markings, so all the different stitches here are limited until that area, where on the new one it's just going higher up. So yeah, then the magical cape on the former figure had a metal wire going through the whole side there. Along these sides it was all metal wires. I double checked again on the latest figure and I think on this side there's absolutely no wire, but here it could be that somehow something is integrated at least until this area. So here you see actually what happens if you pull that too much, it will directly fall off, so you have to really get this into the magnet area again. So in terms of the clothing there are some minor variations going on. I think the latest figure is a bit more vibrant in terms of the blue that they used. I think it also that the fabric itself is a bit more high quality, but the differences are really minor. You see some difference on the Eye of Agamotto itself, well, the fabric that they used there. The item itself is the same. Then the belt area is revamped on the latest release. It's a different sculpt from what I can see, and definitely differently painted. Also these fringes here are different, and on the gauntlet area you see there are some different colors applied. Greens, blues, and here is a bit of yellow and white. On the bottom section not much difference from what I can see. Also the boots, I think they're definitely the same here. let's go for the last comparison part, accessories. And now let's have a look at this crazy amount of stuff that the latest figure gets. So you can draw the line here. This is the bands of Kitterak, and everything on the right side belongs to the latest figure. It's crazy how many magical effects, hands that you get. The only thing that he's basically not getting is one of these green mandala effects with these notches here. And unfortunately he doesn't get the magic book of Cagliostro. Let's have a look at this again. I really dig this accessory. So many details, so rich in terms of details, real paper going on. Crazy. So I think he does not use it again in Infinity War because everything that he learned is basically now trained, and of course he has the time stone, so it's probably not big use anymore. Alright guys, so conclusion on Doctor Strange Infinity War version. I would say if you want to complete Infinity War line by Hot Toys, this figure is a no-brainer. Definitely go and get him. If you already have the first Doctor Strange figure, it's definitely a discussion you have to do and think about it twice. And personally, this new head sculpt definitely grew on me in the past days. I like this progression of his character about his superhero life. You see it, he's being more experienced and he has this more serious look, so that's definitely something I like, but it's in the end a matter of taste. Then on the last note, this figure costs about $30 US more than the first release, so that's also a factor that comes into play. It's a bit understandable because of additional accessories, but yeah, I totally understand everybody that is a bit of disappointed because of the added price tag here. Alright guys, that's it for this video review on Doctor Strange. Thanks for watching and see you soon on the tube. Bye bye.